to the Workforce Connections podcast, where we discuss workforce development in Southern Nevada. Here's your host.
Hi, and welcome to the WC podcast, where we explore workforce development issues in Southern Nevada. Today, we have another member of the Workforce Connections board here with us, my friend Cecil Fielder from Keolis Transportation. Cecil, welcome.
Greetings, Jaime. Thank you for having me.
I'm excited about our conversation today, but before we get into the meat, tell me about what do you think about this podcast idea?
I think it's a great idea. I think it's innovative, thought forward, and the level of information sharing is second to none.
And you're going to have to make sure next time you see Jack to give him kudos because it was his idea.
I will.
So tell us, as you know, the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, it funds our work, and it says that our board must have a majority business membership. 51% of our board members must represent business, and it must be people like you who not only have optimum policymaking authority in their organizations, but hiring authority, understand the labor market. And so tell us, in your perspective, why is it important for businesses like Keolis to have a voice here on the Workforce Connections Board?
Well, first and foremost, it's a tremendous honor and a privilege to serve. Obviously, Keolis is only one of thousands of employers across the Southern Nevada Valley. And so with that being said, we take this role seriously. And again, it is an honor.
And you not only represent Keolis, as you said, Cecil, here, you're really representing the transportation industry. And we know that transportation industry is in an evolution right now. Everybody's talking about autonomous vehicles, right? Is there somewhere where Keolis is doing anything about autonomous vehicles?
As you know, a couple of years ago, we did have a pilot in the container park area. It was extremely successful. If I had to forecast, I think we're still several years away before we can go fully autonomous throughout the nation.
It's scary, right? When you think about it, I see shows on TV where they talk about autonomous trucking. And when you think about you and your family on a highway and you see this massive truck next to you with no driver, it's a little scary. But I guess it would be kind of like the people in the early ages of the airplane industry, right? Where the first time somebody said, we're going to climb into that massive structure of steel and get into the air. Whatever we don't understand is still, I guess, strange in the beginning, but we know it's coming. Tell us what is Keolis seeing in the market today? Because the COVID pandemic has really reshape what not only businesses expect from employees, but what job seekers expect from their jobs. Tell us a little bit about what you're seeing in that labor market today.
Sure. So across the nation, I don't want to get too heavy off into the neuroscience of it, but we're seeing a shift in the mindset with our candidate pool. We're experiencing a spirit of complacency, a spirit of entitlement. We believe it was infused by the pandemic, not only in our candidate pool, but also internally within our workforce. So essentially, people want more for less. And so I don't want to just leave it there. I'm predicting, and I believe that employers will have to spend more time on mentorship programs to shift that mindset back. And it's going to take some time.
That's interesting because we also see that in our one-stop centers. We are seeing candidates who value flexibility much more than they did before. It used to be, of course, the actual pay or the salary was one of the first things on the list, but now the ability to work remote, the ability to have built-in childcare are things that job seekers are finding much more higher on their list of things when they find work. So also something that I wanted to ask you about today was you've been a board member for a few years, and we're very grateful to have you. But recently you've transitioned into two leadership roles here at the board. Not only are you the vice chair of the board, and by the way, elected by your peers, but also the vice chair of our programs committee. Tell us a little bit about what it's like to have this new role, if you will, and what is that you enjoy working on the programs committee and the board?
Sure. So that was several questions wrapped up into one, so I'll do my best. Be patient with me. The transition was seamless. We talk about mentorship. Jack Martin, Miss Val, the transition for me to go from board member to vice chair, I think was seamless. Again, the infrastructure was there, built-in mentorship. And so over time, it allowed me to scale. And then I'm surrounded by a group of great professionals, Miss Mary Beth Seawald, Dr. Jesus Jara, the list goes on and on, Guy Martin. And so it was a seamless transition for me.
Yeah, we're blessed to have, I think, great board members. We really are. You and your, there's 23 members of our board, all of them actively engaged. We have also a great group of local elected officials consortium to govern our agency. What particularly do you like in the work that you do when you meet with the programs committee? What are the things that bring you most satisfaction?
The level of transparency. It's that inner circle discussion, the momentum that's built, the thought forwardness with the committee. I think that the programs committee as well as the board do a really good job of generating that momentum of change. And we've seen that throughout the Valley over the last several years.
Yeah, I like that you say that because the programs committee and the board, and you've been there, has made some pretty difficult decisions over the last few years where there was a lot of heavy discussions, I would say even controversy, and wasn't the funnest of times. But I think what matters now is the outcomes that we see in our system, the data that we see, I think really validates and justifies those tough decisions that were made months ago. Do you feel the same way?
I agree. Couldn't agree more. It speaks to the level of leadership from you and your staff. The change that we're going to experience and that we have experienced is going to be around for generations to come. We are essentially closing the gaps between business and the job seeker and the alignment. The silos have been torn down and this alignment is beautiful.
I feel the same way. Tell us, I know we also traveled to Washington, D.C. I know you've been there before. Why would you say it's important for a board member to take the time to travel with us to the annual forum for the National Association of Workforce Boards, in your experience?
Sure. So we often focus on the what, and we sometimes step over the why. Traveling to Washington, D.C. gave me that why. I understood my role, I understood the expectation, the level of responsibility, and really increased clarity. So it was a great trip for me, and I recommend it to other members.
I do too. I hope more members do like you and take the time to go. Here's the last question I have for you today. We are always talking about what kind of occupations or skill sets are relevant for our participants. And as you know, not all of our participants are going to go on to college or a 4-year university. A lot of them really still like to work with their hands, and so we have to find trades, skill sets that are relevant to our area. And so one of the things we're planning to do, and you've helped us with, is we're going to bring a special demo for paintless dent repair here to Workforce Connections to expose graduates from the Hope for Prisoners program, young kids who are in the Spring Mountain Youth Camp. And so, with the hopes that, again, is this a training that would impact their lives, something that they could either take this 6-week training and start a business of their own, or go work for somebody who owns a fleet of cars or has a car dealership or something like that. So what are your thoughts on our efforts to try to bring these kinds of innovative practices here in the region?
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth. Again, it's a testament to the thought-forward approach. It's innovative. It allows the end user to find their gift, scale. 6 weeks is not a long time. This is not a four-year bachelor's degree program. This is where they can hit the ground running immediately and start generating income, if not starting up their own business. Again, kudos to the Workforce Connections team.
Well, thank you, Cecil. And I'd like to give you a chance maybe for first, thank you for being here today, for being on our board, for always being ready to jump in whenever we ask you to, whether it's to travel with us, to attend events, to represent our agency. You're always say yes. And so we're very grateful for that. Grateful that you were here today with us. So this is your chance to maybe share some final thoughts with our listeners, say your goodbyes before we close the podcast.
Thank you for allowing me to be here today. It was absolutely a humbling honor and a privilege. I think that the information sharing on these segments is going to be cutting edge going forward. Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Cecil.
Thank you, Jaime.
So that's it for our podcast today. We hope you join us for a future episode. So until next time, stay safe. Okay, so Cecil, thank you for staying over to do our bonus segment. We called it Against the Wall. The first segment is going to be about your favorites. I'm going to say a few things here, and you're going to tell me which one your favorite is. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Your favorite car?
Oh, Corvette.
Your favorite food?
Italian.
Your favorite book?
The Bible.
Your favorite sport to watch?
Tennis.
Favorite football team?
Go Raiders.
Favorite hockey team?
Golden Knights.
Very good. See? Favorite musical artist or group? Oh, you got a bunch of these. Give us 2, 3. That's okay.
2, 3. Billy Idol.
All right. Your favorite city to visit?
San Francisco.
Very good. I thought you were going to take us down Sugar Hill Gang or something like that, but that was good. Very good. Our second segment is called Tough Choices. Now, remember, we call them tough for a reason. You ready for this one?
I'm ready.
All right. Your mom's cooking or Marlene's cooking? No, you don't have to answer that. That was a trick question. You don't have to answer that one. Here we go. Real one. Cruising in a muscle car or in a convertible?
Convertible.
Travel by car or by plane?
By plane for sure.
Working out in the garage or cooking meat outdoors?
Working out in the garage.
Peru chicken or Mojara Loca? Mojara Loca is that place Jack likes to take us with the volcanic rock and stuff.
Peru chicken.
That's my man right there. Working remote or in the office?
In the office for sure.
Justice or grace?
Grace.
Actions or words?
Actions.
Very good. Here we going into our last segment. It's called Finish the Sentence. So I'm going to give you just a few sentences and you'll finish them for me. Here's the first one. Some of Cecil's hobbies and interests are?
Martial arts and working out.
Cecil's perfect weekend is?
Turner Classic Movies and a good book.
The best part of living in Southern Nevada is?
A fall festival.
Happiness is?
Creating your future and living in it.
If Cecil could rewind time, he would?
Finish school.
Doing the WC podcast today was?
Refreshing.
Awesome. Well, you just completed the rapid fire segments. Thank you for being with us today, Cecil.
Awesome. Thank you, Jaime.